Hello, wellness entrepreneurs. Welcome back. Today, I'm honored to have on my client, Sharon Smith Carter. She is a clinical somatic movement educator and yoga teacher based in Ontario, Canada. Sharon, welcome.
Hi, Allison. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm very excited for you to be here. Okay, so tell everyone a little bit about what you're doing these days and how you're helping everyone.
Okay. Well, I primarily teach gentle movement and somatic classes for what I call seasoned bodies. Bodies that I've aged with as a teacher. I've learned from them, I've learned alongside them, and I really understand how bodies can change over decades and how that can impact their mobility and their daily life. So I really try and help people move in gentle ways to support the things that they do day to day. And I try and encourage them to really lean into what they can do rather than focusing on what they can't. So essentially, I blend my experience of gentle hatha yoga, which I've been teaching for 26 years, with somatic movement, which I've taught for the past 13 years. And then as a clinical somatic educator, I do work one-on-one with people to really help them recognize where they're habituating tension and how that might be limiting their movement potential. And then alongside this, I do mentor somatic movement teachers, and I'm developing some continuing ed programs, both on my own and in collaboration with a colleague. So that's pretty much it.
I love all this. Yes, yes. Okay, so for the practitioner that's listening, because there's many experienced practitioners listening and those gaining experience who are nodding their heads and they're like, yes, yes, I want to do all that too. Tell us a little bit about, when you first started working with me or prior to working with me and you came to me, what was going on in your business back then and, what were you feeling?
Okay, so it's really been a long journey, and I kind of have it in two parts. Pre-COVID, where I had a studio, I had other teachers working for me, and I was offering classes 6 days a week. And then after COVID, I'm back to just teaching basically how I started, just on my own. And it was like building a business again, only I'm at a different stage in my life. So my approach is a little bit different, and maybe my energy levels were put in different areas. So you have really, really helped me kind of focus in on what my strengths are and what I'm passionate about and how to cultivate that into an offering for people that is authentic for me, because that's really important. So it's been a really great experience, and I'm learning a lot, and I've found that I've let go of a lot of the noise that was in my head, and it seems to be a little clearer path. And I also appreciate the level of understanding that you offer movement practitioners, because I know that you've lived that, and that's really important to me. So I'm not talking to a business person who doesn't understand what I'm actually doing. You're right in there and you know the language that I'm talking. So that is fantastic for me.
Yeah, I love this. And I'm so excited for you. Tell us a little bit about your classes. What's this is what really warms my heart. And then the mentorship work that you're doing. We'll start with the classes first, but how they've shifted for you because you have both in-person and online classes and there's a lot of practitioners out there that want that hybrid experience.
Mhm.
So tell us what was happening with your classes when we first started working together and where they are now.
Wow. Well, I feel that I've really tried to build and lean into the people who are leaning into me. And I've let go of trying to maybe look beyond what's right in front of me. So it sounds really simple, but you've helped me build my classes that I had in person. I love teaching in person. Like I get jazzed by that. That's what gives me that energy. It's kind of that reciprocal give and take from my students to me that keep me going. And then I can take that excitement over into online work, which is what I'm trying to build right now. I did come into the virtual world out of necessity after COVID, because that was the only way that we were able to maintain our business as an in-person practitioner. Otherwise, we were done because in Ontario, we got closed down. So it has been a learning to try and reach people, and people virtually are not really reached in the same way I had an in-person business where it's in my community, it's word of mouth. And I've learned a lot about social media and how to get out there. But also, I appreciate that you know where I'm coming from. I don't need to be a phenom, but I need to get out there because I want to have more people coming into my classes. And that is happening, right?
Mm.
It's slowly happening, and I'm getting a lot of feedback, I guess, from my social media. I've been focusing on seasoned bodies, and I just started my classes this week after a winter break. And all of them are saying, we love you showing up on social media, which kind of took me aback. But I'm getting more and more people that are reaching out to me. So it's all a plus.
Yeah, I love that. I love seeing your follow growth. You're a beautiful writer. So you bring this strength with you and you're an amazing storyteller. And when you get a concept, you take it and run. And that is also an amazing skill to have as a business owner. And so it's really wonderful to see all your new followers. When you tell me, oh, so and so have just reached out. I haven't seen them in so many years. You're writing emails from your voice, but also from a conversion lens too. So people are coming from all these places, which is really that, it builds lots of buffer and lots of ways to reach people and where they consume content. So all of this leads to growth in
Mhm.
your world.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's interesting. Like, I live in a small community, maybe 80,000 people. And so over the years of 26 years, I've seen lots of people that have come to my classes live, but it's been maybe 10, 15 years since I've seen some people. And since we've been working together, over the holidays, I was in the post office and in the grocery store, and some people came up and they said, "Hey, you came up on my feed. I love it." And so I laughed and they said, "And we're going to follow you." So that was a plus.
I love that. Yeah, you're rebuilding your community. I don't know if rebuilding is the right word, but
Yeah.
maybe in a different way. It's both in person because now you have that community, touch points when you are out in the world and in your in-person classes, and also this online community that'll support your content,
Mhm.
which all of that keeps you going, really. Tell us
It
what
does.
the content creation process has been like for you.
Wow. That has been probably my biggest learning. I think, there's so many aspects of that you've helped me with. And I'm going to say the biggest thing for me with you is that I feel like you're beside me because I want to work in person. I don't want somebody to tell me, "Oh, you can look that up. You can figure out how to do that," because that's what a lot of other businesses or practitioners that coach do that. You've been beside me and you've helped me learn about what lands for people, about the term hooks, about CTA. Listen, I'm going, what's that? And how to create something also, which is really important to me, that it's authentic, that I feel like it's representing who I am, and in a way that people are going to relate to me, right? So this has been my biggest learning, and I've just coming to the tail end of a 3 month Instagram makeover course with you, which really has been, I don't want to say life changing, but the information that has come to me and the independence and the confidence of showing up is so valuable. Like, that is the golden egg here on the marketing. So I really am appreciative of that.
Yeah. And while we're talking about Instagram here, tell everyone your handle so they can go give you a follow and check
Oh,
it out.
it's Sharon Smith Carter Movement.
Spell out Carter. So it's SHARN, Sharon Smith.
Yeah, Carter, Carter Movement, Movement.
Okay, perfect. Is it ER or just R?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carter. Yeah.
Okay,
That might
perfect.
be my Canadian accent kind of chopping off a couple
Blended it
letters
together.
here.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. All right. I love it. Go give her a follow. Check it out. You really do a great job of breaking down what's happening in a seasoned body, why they might be feeling a certain way, speaking to what they're really desiring, and then leading them to that next step.
Mhm,
And you brought in, you created and we launched together some mentorship programs. So for the practitioner,
mhm.
so tell us a little bit about those.
Well, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I have mentored in numerous programs over my life in yin yoga and also in somatic movement. And I realized that when people were learning the movements in a training, that it was heavily on how to do the movement, but there was an area that wasn't covered in my experience, and that was more about how to I'm going to say sequence plans or classes, or put plans together that land in people's nervous systems, that it's not just showing, oh, I know A, B, C, and D. It's like, how can I create movement literacy for my students? And also that has to come from us as practitioners. What's our ability to have movement literacy so that we don't need to be reading scripts ourselves, that if we get sidetracked, we know exactly where we're going to end up because we understand the movements. And so you and I have worked together to do a very small mentorship program of this, what I'm calling Guide with Grace, the heart of crafting classes, workshops, and series. And so we're slowly building that. And it's developed each time. I'm coming up to my third time doing this since the summer. I'm learning how to craft classes, how to craft a series as well, which is great because it still stays relatable. It's conversations, it's questions, it's the one-on-one mentorship that often we don't continue to receive when we finished a program. And as so many teachers work independently, and like myself, where's the closest teacher to me? They might be in another province. It allows us to get together in community and have discussions, and that is always beneficial. So that's what I'm working on with that, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I love it. And you guys meet virtually so people can attend
Yeah,
from
yes, it's a virtual program. So I've had people pop in my first class, they from Australia. I've had people in from Finland and from New York City and from British Columbia. And I'm, of course, just based outside of Toronto. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I love that. And her next round is coming up soon in February, is it?
Yes, for the month of February, I'm doing it on Wednesday nights at 6:30 Eastern time. And it's an hour and a half class. And so I'm looking forward to getting that rolling and meeting a small group of new practitioners that maybe want a little more guidance.
Yeah, I love it. So go check her out if you're interested in that. And speak to other practitioners that have been, teaching a long time themselves and wanting to grow their own mentorship programs. What's the mindset for you behind that? That maybe, they're kind of stuck in what they've been doing day after day, and social media and tech feels daunting, but they really want to, launch into this world. What would you tell them?
Lean into your strengths. Like if you've been teaching a long time, you've got a body of work, so much work to draw on. And it's maybe reframing our skill set in a different way, not just showing up on the mat teaching a class. I mean, what do we know? What do we embody? What knowledge can we pass on to almost what would we want to learn when we were starting out? And after 26 years, there's lots of things that I can offer people and other practitioners that can shortcut and not sweat about certain things, and maybe really just think about the world right now and how the virtual aspect of it extends our reach, people that have maybe more specific interests, so we're not just looking at our in-person clientele. This really expands everything, and you can do it, and to reach out to somebody like you that can help give us the stepping stones to get there.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And what would you tell the practitioners that are maybe just starting out on their own or starting out as a practitioner for gaining experience and confidence in growing their practices online or in person?
I, if I had to turn back time, I wish that I had invested in you or someone like you, this type of business, because it just thin slices it and let me let go of a lot of the nonsense or the noise or the distractions. And I wish that I could have done this from the get-go because it's a clearer path, and it's allowed me to learn how to set things up. I used to do one and done, put something out and figure, oh, like an ad in a newspaper. If you didn't see that newspaper ad, which that's how long I've been around, then that was it, done. And so now it's like continue to show up. You're not bothering people. You can find that sweet spot that feels comfortable for you as a practitioner, how much you want to show up on social media. But I think you really need to be there, and people who are maybe balking at it, they need to reframe that and maybe have another look at it and find somebody who resonates with them as a
Yeah,
coach. Does that make sense?
yes, 100%. What would you tell the practitioner that maybe feels stuck or overwhelmed with all the pieces of all that they need to do to get a class full and people in there and run like another arm of the business, like a mentorship program? What would you tell that overwhelmed or stuck person?
Oh boy. Well, I can only explain since we've been working together because a lot of this has come together to I'm going to say maybe I looked at everything else that was going on around me and I've really brought it in to something that feels less stressful and to just focus on that. And if something doesn't work, not to necessarily throw it out, but to say, what can I do to make it work? Is it just that something might not be landing? And I needed that conversation with you and your experience because I was ready to throw in a few things or say, oh, that didn't work, so I'm going to add this. And you said, Sharon, why are you doing that? The number one thing you said is, you're tired. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And so you brought me back to center. And that comment, I'm going to tell you, is what I tell anybody, is that comment that you said to me brought me back to a point where I went, you know what? That was worth our whole mentorship because you caught me in my pattern and I'm not there anymore. And it sounds crazy, but it's really been helpful for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm building. So I'm building something and realizing I've got to keep putting that time in and I've got to maybe change a word or
Mhm.
change one of maybe my social media didn't land because it wasn't clear. And it's an ongoing process. So I'm really appreciative of that. And I think that other people might be able to relate to that.
Yeah, 100%. I think you pointed out two huge energy leaks, and that is comparison, comparison maybe to ourself like years ago, if like pre-pandemic, if your business looked really different and was thriving in such a way, so we can compare to where we were in the past, and or comparison to other people and
Yeah,
what they're doing. That can be a huge energy leak. And then the other big energy leak is if you have a burning desire to bring a certain type of offer in the world and you launch it and it doesn't land at first, and you give it your all and you don't get the traction that you want, this scrapping of it and then starting over with another one or just adding something else, that's a big energy leak too.
absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. And that's been huge for me. And I think that approach has given me a little bit more energy back. And maybe it's the difference from being like in a studio where I had lots of classes 6 days a week for other teachers as well, to then just coming back and going, you know what, I don't have to offer 16 classes. I offer 7 classes, and that feels really doable for me. And it keeps my energy up, my excitement, and I'm really jazzed about showing up, whether it's online or in person.
Yeah, I love that. And we can see that energy with you.
Yeah.
And it also frees up your time because you had a workshop seminar, an education seminar for practitioners with another practitioner at your studio, and you created this amazing manual for them and you had the time to do it and think it through, and your students, they really loved it.
Absolutely. Yeah, my colleague from New Jersey and we got together and we developed something called the Somatic Movement Teachers Hub. And it was really a sense of community to come together. And we just thought, we thought it was a great idea and we worked on it. I put together the manual and it filled basically in 10 days. And so we were really excited about that. And they came up to my studio in the Kawartha Lakes from Tampa, from Georgia, from Edmonton. And it was just really great for people to come together collectively. And it gave me, again, that reinforcement that there's more knowledge here. There's lots to offer that at 66, which is what I am, I don't have a big runway left, but I'm still on the runway and I still feel that I'm relevant and I've got things to offer. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and please stay on the runway because you do have so much to offer. Well, forever, however long you want.
Yeah.
I'll say that. No pressure. Okay. Well, Sharon, thank you so much for, sharing all your wisdom and your journey today. Are there any other parting words of wisdom that you might have for a practitioner that maybe feels stuck? Maybe they feel stuck with Instagram or they feel stuck with filling their classes or workshops, that sort of thing, or seminars. What would you tell them?
Well, I'm going to say something that can be relatable to anything. I'm going to say lean into where you are, whether it's your life, your body through your movement or through your business, stay curious. Notice what's possible and let that be your starting point, and take it one step at a time, and notice that there's resources around that can help you. You don't have to do it on your own. And I'm really grateful that my friend gave me your name, that made this journey so much more enjoyable, exciting, and it's changing for me. I've had the best year I've had since COVID. So thank you very much, Allison. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm so glad all you practitioners are part of my community. It really lights me up seeing you on the call each week, like together and collaborating with each other and supporting each other's Instagram. Like I just love our community. We really have a great community. So thank you so much for being a part of it, and you really are a cheerleader for a lot of people in the community. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much, Allison. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, yeah, very cool. Okay, one more time, tell everyone, your Instagram and also your website.
Okay, my website is sharonsmithcarter.ca. So SharonSmithCarter.ca. My Instagram is Sharon Smith Carter Movement. And I think that's the same as my Facebook as well. And I am on Facebook.
Yeah, very good. Okay, yeah, if you're not on Instagram, you can get her on Facebook. I love it. Well, thank you so much for showing up today.
Thanks a lot, Allison. Have a good day.
You too. This episode is brought to you by Jane, a practice management software and EMR designed for wellness practitioners who value structure, simplicity, and calm growth. If you're a skilled wellness practitioner who's tired of tech overwhelm and administrative chaos, Jane understands. Your expertise should be focused on client transformation, not wrestling with software. Jane provides the structure and systems you need to run a sustainable practice. With Jane's streamlined online booking, your clients can easily schedule at times that work for them. With smart features like waitlist notifications, those last minute cancellations become opportunities, not losses. It's a simple way to maintain consistent revenue without the constant hustle of filling your calendar. During sessions, Jane's AI powered documentation helps you capture important notes, efficiently allowing you to stay present and focused on delivering exceptional care. After appointments, you can end on a healing note rather than a transactional one by charging cards on file and handling rebooking before the client leaves, creating the organized, professional experience your business deserves. To discover how Jane can help you build a more structured, scalable wellness practice that works even when you're offline, resting, use the link in the show notes. And especially for you, Ignite Your Wellness Business listeners, when you're ready to implement the simple system that supports your growth, use code IGNITE1M. So that's IGNITE1MO to get your first month complimentary. That code will also be in the show notes.